There comes a time in every soul's journey when silence speaks louder than words. When the universe whispers something so profound, it shakes you awake. And perhaps this moment, right here, right now, is not a coincidence. Because if you are hearing this message today, it is not just sound reaching your ears. It is energy. It is alignment. It is God's way of saying, I have one final message for you. Listen carefully. There are moments in life when you stop and wonder, where did I go wrong? You look at the road behind you, filled with disappointments, unfulfilled dreams, relationships that fell apart, and plans that never reached their end. You look at all of it and feel that somehow you took a wrong turn, that somehow you have been walking in circles while everyone else seems to be moving forward. But the truth, my friend, is that you were never lost. You were being redirected. Every step, even the ones that felt uncertain, was a part of a map written long before you were born. There is a saying among the wise, the path reveals itself to those who have the patience to keep walking. But when you are walking through the fog of uncertainty, it's hard to see that you're still on the right path. You question everything, your purpose, your timing, your choices. You think, if I had done things differently, maybe I would be somewhere else by now. Yet, what if the place you are standing in is exactly where you were meant to be? What if the delays you hate so much were divine protection from things that could have destroyed you? What if the people who left were meant to leave because their chapter in your book was over? You see, when God writes your story, He already knows every twist and every turn. He already knows who will walk beside you and who will walk away. He knows when to close a door, not because you're unworthy, but because the room behind it no longer matches your frequency. But because you are human, you see only the door closing, not the hallway it is leading you toward. You cry at endings that were really beginnings in disguise. You mourn what was removed, not realizing you are being redirected towards something greater. The human heart resists redirection because it is attached. You get attached to plans, to people, to outcomes. You say, this is how it should go. And when it doesn't, you feel betrayed. But imagine this, you are driving through a storm, and suddenly, the GPS says routing. Would you get angry at the GPS for redirecting you to a safer path? No, you would trust that it sees something you cannot. A road blocked ahead, an accident, a danger unseen. The universe works the same way. When something changes suddenly in your life, a job ends, a relationship collapses, an opportunity disappears, it's not rejection, it's redirection. The redirection often feels like loss because you have not yet arrived at what you are being redirected to. It's in that gap, that sacred in between, where your faith is tested. You feel the pain of the old chapter closing, but you haven't yet seen the beauty of the next one. This is where most people give up. They think, if this pain is here, I must have done something wrong. But pain is not a sign of wrong direction. Pain is the echo of transformation. It's the sound of your old self breaking to make space for the new one. When you plant a seed, you cover it with soil, and to anyone looking, it seems like it has disappeared. The surface looks empty, but underground, a miracle is happening. The seed is splitting, expanding, reaching for light it cannot yet see. That's you right now. You are not buried, you are planted. The darkness you feel is not your end, it is your beginning. It is the sacred silence before growth. There were times when you begged for something to happen, and it didn't. You asked for a door to open, and instead, it slammed shut. You cried, you questioned, and maybe even doubted your own worth. But God saw what you could not. He saw the weight you were not ready to carry, the people who would have hurt you, the situations that would have drained your light. You were not denied, you were protected. And sometimes protection feels like loss because the ego wants what the soul doesn't need. The ego says, I want it now. The soul says, not yet. If you could look back on your life from a higher point of view, you would see that everything that seemed to go wrong actually led you to something right. Every rejection taught you self-worth. Every heartbreak opened your heart wider. Every failure taught you resilience. Every delay taught you patience. Life is not random, it's precise. Every experience is a lesson disguised as chaos. Every person is a mirror sent to awaken something within you. When you say, I feel lost, what you truly mean is that the map you created no longer matches the journey your soul is taking. You made plans based on who you were, but life is shaping you into someone new. So the path must change too. This is why redirection feels uncomfortable, because it requires surrender. It demands that you let go of what you thought your life should be so you can receive what it's meant to become. Look back at your own story. There were moments that broke you, yes. There were nights you cried yourself to sleep, mornings when you didn't want to get up. But did you stay there? No, you rose. Maybe slowly, maybe painfully, but you rose. You adapted. You learned. You kept walking. And somehow, you found yourself in places you never expected. Meeting people you never knew would matter. Learning lessons that shaped you into someone wiser, calmer, stronger. That is redirection. That is grace in motion. There is a reason some prayers go unanswered. There is a reason some doors remain closed. Because if everything you asked for had been given to you, it would have destroyed the version of you that was meant to emerge. The universe does not give you what you want. It gives you what will awaken you. It gives you what will stretch your soul. It gives you what will make you remember who you truly are. You are not just a body moving through space. You are a spirit unfolding through time. Your life is not happening to you. It is happening for you. Every detour, every setback, every loss is carrying wisdom within it. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back and say, if that didn't happen, I would not have become who I am today. That is when you understand that redirection is divine perfection in disguise. The problem is, the human mind wants control. It wants to plan every detail. But the divine works through mystery. It doesn't reveal the whole path at once, only the next step. And that's enough. Because faith is not about knowing the destination. It's about trusting the direction. It's about believing that even when the road curves, even when the night feels endless, the dawn will still come. You were never lost. You were being guided. Through every storm, every silence, every setback, the guidance just didn't always look the way you expected. Sometimes it came as loss. Sometimes as pain. Sometimes as stillness. But it was always love in disguise. Think about the moments you thought were your lowest. Maybe you lost someone you loved. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you faced betrayal. Maybe you faced loneliness so deep it felt unbearable. But then something changed. Slowly, you began to heal. You began to rediscover yourself. You found strength you didn't know you had. You found clarity. You found peace. That peace did not come despite your suffering. It came through it. The path to your higher self was hidden inside what you once tried to avoid. God does not waste pain. Every tear you've cried has watered the soil of your awakening. Every delay was preparing your character to sustain the blessings waiting for you. If you had received those blessings earlier, you wouldn't have had the strength to carry them. Timing is not a punishment. It's protection. It's alignment. The universe never says, no. It only says, not yet. So the next time you find yourself in a place that feels unfamiliar, remember, this is not punishment. It is preparation. You are not being abandoned. You are being realigned. The universe doesn't make mistakes. It removes what doesn't belong so it can make space for what does. But you must trust the process even when it's silent. You must believe that unseen hands are still guiding you. Sometimes God closes a door because you were meant to build your own. Sometimes He removes people not because they are bad, but because their energy is no longer meant to walk beside yours. Sometimes he delays your plans because he wants to strengthen your faith. It's all part of the same lesson, that you were never lost. You were being redirected toward your higher path. There is peace in surrender. The moment you stop fighting what's happening and start flowing with it, you will see that the universe is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It's always rearranging your life in ways that serve your evolution. You are not behind. You are not off track. You are right where you need to be to learn what your soul came here to learn. So breathe, trust, let go. The redirection you resist today might be the reason you smile tomorrow. You are walking a sacred path even when it doesn't feel sacred. You are moving closer to your purpose with every step, even when the road feels unclear. Remember, the seed does not question the darkness. It trusts that the light will return. And when it does, the seed doesn't just grow, it transforms. It becomes something new, something stronger, something alive. That's you. That's your journey. You were never lost. You were simply being guided home. When life tests you,